Have you ever sat across from your wife or partner, feeling that gnawing emptiness, wondering why the spark is gone? Maybe intimacy has become awkward, conversations feel shallow, and every touch seems mechanical. You try to initiate, but she hesitates. You joke, but the laughter feels distant. And the worst part? You don't know why. You feel lost, invisible, and frustrated. I want you to know something before we go any further. This isn't your fault. Not entirely. Most men are walking through marriage blind, blind to emotional cues, blind to subtle shifts in desire, blind to the hidden ways women are signaling, I need connection, not pressure. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why her desire changed, how to reconnect emotionally and physically, and you'll get step-by-step actions you can take starting tonight. If you stick with me, you're going to see your marriage or your relationship transform in ways that feel almost magical, because it all begins with understanding the hidden female psychology and your own emotional presence. I'm Dr. Emma Blake, a relationship therapist and men's sexual health expert. For over 15 years, I've helped men just like you rekindle desire, rebuild intimacy, and regain confidence in their marriages. I've worked with couples facing emotional disconnect, sexual frustration, and the silent drift that kills relationships quietly over time. Today, I'm going to give you the same tools, strategies, and insights I give my clients. No fluff, no gimmicks. By the end of this session, you will understand why she may have lost desire and what's really going on in her mind. Recognize the subtle cues and signals that show she still wants connection. Learn a step-by-step method to rebuild emotional safety, intimacy, and sexual connection, and get actionable dialogue scripts and routines you can implement immediately. And yes, it's not about trying harder or forcing her to feel something. It's about presence, emotional intelligence, and consistent connection. Let me tell you about Amir. He was a successful man, respected at work, adored by friends, but at home, he felt like a stranger. His wife, once warm and attentive, now avoided intimacy. Conversations ended in silence. And whenever he tried to touch her, she pulled back. Amir thought he was failing, that he was inadequate. He overanalyzed every interaction. Did I say something wrong? Am I unattractive? Am I losing her? But here's the truth. She wasn't rejecting him because of his looks, his money, or his personality. She was signaling that she didn't feel emotionally safe or seen anymore. Her desire had shifted because emotional connection had eroded, and Amir, like most men, didn't recognize the signs until it was nearly too late. Women's desire is deeply connected to emotional safety and connection. Hormones, stress, and life responsibilities also play a role. But even when all external factors are fine, lack of emotional attunement destroys sexual intimacy. Women's brains release bonding chemicals when they feel safe, appreciated, and connected. But emotional distance suppresses this. Daily stress, work pressure, and mental load elevate cortisol, killing desire instantly. Even subtle criticism or indifference creates withdrawal. In short, if she's hesitant, distant, or avoids intimacy, it's often not about attraction. It's about feeling unsafe, unseen, or emotionally disconnected. Most men respond the wrong way. Pressuring for sex pushes her further away, avoiding the conversation delays resolution, and increases frustration. Overcompensating with gifts or gestures rarely works if emotional awareness is missing, and internalizing blame undermines confidence and presence. Each of these reactions feeds the cycle of disconnection. The reality is simple. Women need to feel seen, heard, and safe. Emotional disconnection leads to sexual disconnection. If she doesn't feel emotionally anchored to you, no amount of effort will restore desire. This is where men like Amir fail. They focus on mechanics, such as touch, initiation, and timing, instead of emotional scaffolding. The good news is that you can fix this if you understand the right steps and timing. Here's how to start rebuilding connection. First, remove sexual pressure temporarily. Stop initiating sex for a week and focus purely on emotional intimacy. You could say, I just want to spend time together, no expectations. Can we do that? Next, have a meaningful conversation. Ask open-ended questions about her feelings, her day, her needs, for example. I've noticed we've drifted emotionally, and I want to understand how you feel. Can we talk? Then, listen actively and be curious. Don't interrupt, defend, or solve immediately. Reflect her emotions with phrases like, I hear you saying you feel stressed and unheard. That makes sense. Demonstrate consistent safety and availability through small actions like check-ins, thoughtful gestures, and shared routines without pressure or expectation. Rebuild attraction naturally because emotional intimacy leads to desire. When she feels safe, seen, and valued, her body will follow her mind. In week 1, you'll feel awkward and she might test your consistency. By week 2, walls begin to soften and conversations deepen. Weeks 3 to 4, emotional safety strengthens, and small touches and light flirting can be reintroduced. By months 2 to 3, desire starts returning naturally. She initiates connection, and confidence rebuilds. Hidden factors also quietly erode desire. Stress from work, finances, and family obligations elevate stress hormones, which kill desire. Women are sensitive to their partner's stress. If you come home tense, distracted, or irritable, she subconsciously pulls away. Hormonal shifts with aging, including testosterone decline and estrogen fluctuations, affect desire biologically, not personally. Resentment from unresolved conflicts manifests as emotional distance and impacts sexual connection. Household load and lifestyle imbalance matter too. Women often juggle more responsibilities, and if they feel unsupported, intimacy fades. Emotional connection thrives when life feels shared, not burdensome. Awareness of these factors gives you power to take targeted action physically, emotionally, and relationally to restore attraction. I know how painful this feels. The ache of reaching out and getting silence, the fear that maybe it's too late, but it's never too late. Relationships are dynamic. Desire can be reignited, confidence can be rebuilt, emotional connection can be restored. You have more control than you realize. How you show up, respond to challenges, listen, and act are the levers of change. You don't need magic, you need presence, consistency, and understanding. Let's go deeper with a 6-step system to implement over the next 30-60 days. Mirror her emotional energy by paying attention to subtle cues, tone, gestures, and expressions, reflecting them to build subconscious rapport. For instance, if she smiles gently while talking about a worry, smile back with calm attention rather than a solution. Physical proximity without expectation is important. Sit closer, hold hands, brush her hair, hug, not for sex, but for connection. Daily curiosity questions help you engage emotionally without trying to fix anything, like asking, what part of today gave you the most stress? Consistent verbal reassurance through gratitude and recognition for overlooked actions strengthens connection, e.g., I noticed how you managed dinner and the kids today. It really means a lot. Reintroduce non-sexual fun and playfulness by playing games, teasing, joking, and laughing to combine emotional safety with enjoyment. Finally, slowly reintroduce sexual intimacy when emotional connection is stronger, flirting lightly, and touching without urgency or expectation, saying, for example, I love spending this time with you. Let's just enjoy tonight and see where it leads. In week 1, build awareness, observe cues, and stop pressure. Week 2, increase active listening and curiosity. Week 3, introduce playful energy and gentle physical proximity. Week 4, reassess connection and begin flirting subtly if she responds positively. Month 2, sexual desire gradually returns, supported by strong emotional intimacy. By month 3, relationship patterns shift. She seeks connection, intimacy feels natural, and you regain confidence. Sammy's story mirrors this transformation. Overthinking, desperate for validation, afraid of rejection, he pressured his wife with gifts, texts, and apologies. All failed. When he applied emotional awareness, stopped pressuring for sex, asked about her day genuinely, mirrored her energy, and showed consistent gratitude, she softened. She laughed more, initiated small touches, and by month 2, intimacy returned naturally. He didn't win her over. He became the emotionally anchored man she wanted to connect with. Women's brains respond to emotional safety before sexual safety. Oxytocin and dopamine are released when she feels seen, appreciated, and emotionally aligned. Ignoring emotional needs and focusing solely on sexual performance is a trap. Sexual confidence, desire, and her responsiveness are all linked to emotional alignment first and physical intimacy second. Imagine walking into a room calm, grounded, and emotionally aware. She notices your energy, smiles before you speak. You don't chase her attention, you command it through presence and consistency. This is not theoretical. You can start tonight. Observe her subtle cues, mirror her energy, ask one genuine question, and notice the shift. Tonight, take one small action from this method. Commit by commenting, "I'm ready to reconnect." Share your experience later. You'll be surprised how your first step creates momentum.